He checks. I think a flush can bet here. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a 7. Pretty sure he doesn't have a flush. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this hand is a value bet on the river. Let's go off pot. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is holyjtiburon. If you don't know who I am, I'm an Italian professional poker player and I play mid to high stakes cash game poker. In this series, I'm trying to turn $50 into $10,000 in a poker challenge. Started at 2NL with just $50 in the bankroll, and right now we're currently sitting with $77.60. We're still playing 2NL. When we get to 85 euros, we can move up to 5NL. The last session was a complete nightmare. Hopefully today we'll do better. So without further ado, let's jump right into the action. Okay, let's start this session. 2NL, check. In this limped pot, we make a 2 pair. Pretty sure we can donk here. Yeah, I don't think I want to play check raises here. Everybody folds. Okay, we have a limp from under the gun and a ISO raise from the button to 3 big blinds. Could have made it 4 or 5, so I'm pretty sure I can 3-bet this hand once he goes for 3 big blinds. This guy is pretty much dead money all the time. Nice. You can steal this. Always pay attention to pre-flop sizings, especially from recreationals. Once again, we have a limp and a ISO raise to 2 big blinds. Always pay attention to sizings. Here, I think it's pretty weak, so I will go for a big size 3-bet. Could have made a little smaller, but it's fine. And he folds. Now we pocket kings against the limp. I think I will go just 4 big blinds since it's short stacked. And we make a top set. I think just going small will be okay, very small. Now once the 9 comes down, I don't think he has a king since I'm blocking most of them. So hopefully he's got a gut shot or some kind of 9x. I think I'll go small actually. Trying to go small. If he has a 9, he will raise. And if he has some sort of gut shot or stuff like that, he will continue and then maybe bluff on the river. That's the worst river ever. I don't think he will bluff if I do something like this. So maybe it's better to just value bet big. Actually, let's go like this. I don't think he has a king, so he called. Let's see what. I think he has ace high. He had the 3. Yeah. Could have made a big size there. He had the 4-3 offsuit. I think it's alright. It's a cool line trying to lower your sizing on turn and river, especially when you have such a strong hand that blocks value. Because recreational players tend to go absolutely crazy when you lower your sizings. For example, you go 30% on the flop and then 20% on turn. King Jack, we're going with the ISO raise, under the gun limps, small blind over limps. And now we have King 9 deuce 2 tone. I think going small it's fine. But I think going bigger is even better. So I will go 50% at the pot here. A lot of gut shots are possible here. Queen Jack, Jack 10. Now a lot of combo draws are possible. So I'll try to maximize. I don't think he has better hand than mine. Something like King, Queen, Ace, King. I don't think they play limp calls. So I will try and charge the draw as much as possible. I'll go pot. Probably never fold into a jam here. He folds, fine. 3x open from the cutoff. The guy that opens is actually a regular. I'm gonna mix some 3-bets in. Roll the pretty low. Let's go 14 bigs. He 4-bets, that's a snap fold. It's kind of strange to see a regular play a 2NL. By the way, the action of rolling means that I'm not doing this action all the time. I'm letting the number on my screen decide. For example, here I have 27. If I think I'm gonna do the specific action, for example, 30% of the time, and I roll 27, then I'm gonna do the raise option. If I roll 58, then I'm just gonna call. This is how randomizing works. 3x open, Jack 9. I think it's pretty close. Probably just gonna have to fold those 3-bet 2NL. Rake structure does not allow to play a lot of flat calls, I think, especially against 3x open. So I'll go for the 3-bet, low frequency. I'm not supposed to do low frequency stuff, but I think this guy is somewhat of a regular, so he might respect my 3-bet, and he does fold. Single raise pot, I open 3x, this guy cold called. Now I don't think I want to put money into the pot. It's very important at these stakes that you don't just put money into the pot out of position. You can have a lot of information about their hand when they have the option to check or bet. This occasion he checked back, but my hand doesn't really want to put money into the pot, especially the 8 is not a great card for us. And now I don't think bluffing is a good thing, so I will just check and take my showdown. Sometimes I might win too. Yeah, we do win. King 10 gonna play calls, good squeeze too. 3-player checks, and now turn is a 10 and we face a 4 big blinds bet. Don't think I'm gonna play a lot of raises here. This hand might want to raise against a weak range. Still, you can have 2 pairs, you can have sets, you can have flushes, so I think calling is the best option here. We have a player behind too. In position player folds, of course he's pretty weak once he checks on the flop. Now we face a not so fast better check. Think here we have the best hand, we just need to value bet. And the question is how much do we want to bet? Think a 10 with a bet, so he might have an 8, pocket 7s, pocket 6s. These players are pretty weak, so let's try and make it 10 big blinds. I think it's okay. He snap calls. Yeah, he had pocket 9s. Range was pretty much an under pair to the 10 or pocket 8s. Don't think if you go bigger than what I did, you get called a lot. Nice read. Gonna play call here with pocket 7s. Definitely too strong to fold, too weak to 3-bet. Basically set mining. Sometimes we do get the chance to win without setting. Now this, I think it's a pretty cool spot. We have a donk bet small and a snap call from this guy. I think they're both pretty weak, so I will just go for a huge raise sizing. I'm expecting a lot of folds from both guys, especially this guy. This guy is a question mark because he might call. Now the 10 is not that great, man. Might have a 9. We might get the chance to fold him out a 9 on the river, but I don't think I want to put money into the pot right now. You could have something like Jack 10 or King Jack, King 10. Yeah, I'm just gonna fold. That's unfortunate. I think the donk bet was pretty weak. I just fold. And this guy was definitely weak. Like he snap called. If you had a hand like pocket kings or ace queen, king queen, you would at least consider raising. So this guy was dead money. This guy was a question mark. Usually they tend to be pretty weak when they donk bet. I think this is a profitable situation. Going for a call. Even though I don't love playing cold calls to an L, I think this is a profitable situation. We have another donk bet. And the call. I'm gonna let this one go. Although I think it's weak. I think it's a sticky player. So let's just fold. Here I opened 6-5 from the cutoff and this player was not playing. And now I think checking back is fine. Bottom pair, pretty connected board. Gonna try and go to showdown. Against the big bet, I think I'm gonna fold the 6-5. Not a high equity hand by any means. We have a limp spot here. We flop trips. I think I'm gonna start with a 1 big blind bet here. We have a call. King comes. I think I'm just gonna continue here. Let's go 4 big blinds. And then on the river, just continue with the aggression. Try and value bet my end. Let's go 12.5 calls. That's nice. Let's take a look at what he had. He had 8-7. So trips versus trips. That's why you don't overlimp this kind of hands. And now with the queen 8, I think we have enough to value bet here. Calls. Don't be scared of the straights. Very hard for them to have it. And if they raise, you can always fold. It's not a big deal. Yeah, the top pair. Why don't you just bet top pair in a limp spot? What are you waiting for? Here, I open the ace king offsuit and I face a donk bet. I'm always going to be raising here. I think I'll make it pretty big too. Calls. And now I'm just gonna go all in. Okay, goes all in himself. Let's just call. Yes, king 8, 2 pair. Wow, that's unlucky. Okay, lose this one. Here we pocket kings, 4 big blinds and a call. Let's go 18 big blinds. We have a call. We make a top set. I think he's gonna have a lot of pocket pairs in this scenario. Still, I think going for a small bet is fine. Yeah, he's not folds. Sometimes it's better to see like 7-3 deuce and just stack off against 10s, 9s, jacks. Pretty unlucky against this guy. Yeah, the king 8. He decided to go for donk bet on the flop. I was pretty sure I was ahead, so I decided to raise. He called, and on the turn, he jams. Not a lot to do, but calling. He shows up with 2 pair. Unlucky run out. Here in a single raise spot, just gonna go small here on the ace 10 6. Make a nut straight on the turn. After a pretty quick call. I think I'm generating a lot of fold equity if I go too big. So let's just go a little less than pot. Yeah, it's not fold. Usually when they snap call on the flop, you're going to generate a bunch of fold equity on the turn. It's just hard for them to have a good hand when they call that quickly. Talking about recreational, of course. Pocket eights here. We decide to open. We face 2 calls. And I think this hand just wants to put a lot of money into the pot. I will go off pot. Don't think they have a lot of 3x. If this guy has a 3, it's just fine. We'll play 32 big blinds deep. He calls and the turn is the 7. Could have donked, decided not to. Still, I think my hand wants to mainly either bet the turn and check back the river or check and call on the river. I think checking is better. There is a 4. Flush completes. And he checks. I think a flush can bet here. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a 7. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a flush. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this hand is a value bet on the river. Let's go off pot. He folds. Okay. He might have an under pair, stuff like that. This double paired board, when your action was passive, usually recreational players tend to bet their trips and full houses. So when they check, you need to try to make team value bets. Limp spot. Ace deuce, face check, we're gonna check back. Not a lot of merit in betting 6 high here. Now I'm just gonna bet, just deny equity against high cards. So basically I bet, if he folds hand like Jack 10, King 9 or stuff like that, it's fine. And then I'm gonna check back the river. Unless the river is a 3, and he donks, yeah, I'm gonna call. He has an ace, Checked on flop, and just check called on the turn. It's pretty unlikely that he has an ace. I'm gonna call. Get king 5. Just a random hand as always. Not considering raising there, since I don't think I'm gonna get called from behind anyway. Blind versus blind spot with 8-7. We open, big blind calls. I think I'm just gonna go for a small bet here. Some tank and then a call. I think I'm gonna continue with this hand anyway. And probably the river is clean, I'm gonna jam. On the turn, there's a lot of pair plus equity that continues, like 6-4, 5-4, 5-3, 5 deuce, 4-3. So if the river is, for example, a queen or king or jack, basically nothing that interacts with this kind of range, I'm just gonna go for a bluff. Pretty interesting spot. Just gonna go for the 3-bet here with king jack against 2 limpers and a ISO raise from the regular. He continues for this ace 5 deuce. Not the greatest one, but still I think he's gonna have a lot of pairs. Similar to last situation, I'm just gonna go for a small bet. He continues. I'm pretty sure he has an ace. I don't think he continues hands like pocket 9s, pocket 8s, pocket 7s. Yeah, I will not bluff this hand. Yeah, let's just check fold. I think he has a lot of ace X once he calls. I think most of his pocket pairs and floats are going to be just folding at 2NL. This guy is a kind of a regular, so don't think I want to bet on the turn. I think it makes sense just to check fold, trying to bet once and then just check fold. I think he has ace queen, ace king in his range. In the meantime, we did play a spot against this guy, a single raise spot. I'm gonna show it to you. And so I was talking about the king jack hand. So basically I opened the queen jack from the button, he continued, and I decided to go for a small bet for range. You can do even some other sizings, but at 2NL I'm just keeping it simple, going for range bets. He continues, turn is a 7. I decide to go for a pot size bet. I think I'm ahead most of the time and I want to extract the max value. He continues. Now river breaks and I think my threshold for value bets it's just going to be probably ace jack. So I decided to just check back and he shows up with king 10. We managed to win this spot. Another spot against this guy. We have pocket jacks, gonna go for a 3-bet against the middle position open. Facing 4-bet, this hand kind of sucks. Still, I think 2NL calling is a disaster, so I will just go all in. I think his range is mostly ace king, kings, maybe queens and aces. Still, I think against ace king we're performing alright, so against such a huge sizing we're gonna go all in. He folds, so he does 4-bet fold. Nice thing to know. So with the a7 I decided to ISO raise against the recreational, and on the jack 7-4, I think specifically a7 I would go small. If I had and then like ace jack, king jack, pocket queens, I would have probably bet bigger. Now he calls, and I'm just playing for showdown now. Quickly checks back. I think he has a 9. River is the 10, not even the greatest run out ever, so I'm just gonna check fold here. Checks back and we win, which is nice. That's why you don't bluff this kind of hands. You still have the EV of checking and your opponent just checks back. Like for example here, he checked back king high. What are you waiting for to bluff, my friend? You need to bluff sometimes. Can overlimp or ISO raise. I prefer to ISO raise against this guy. He's playing basically every hand. He continues, and queen jack 4, just gonna go for a small bet, make it very small here. Don't think this player is gonna be able to pick up on these things. I think it's pretty passive. We're just gonna check fold probably. Checks very quickly. Don't think he's gonna bluff ever, so since this guy is that passive, I'm just gonna go 2 big blinds and fold to a raise. He called, which is good. Let's take a look at what he had. At ace high. Of course, never gonna bluff this kind of hands. I think bluffing here multi-way is fine. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go for a pot size bet. Not sure. I think it's my best chance. Yeah, this time it works. Not sure since they still can have an ace. Like it's a limp spot, and recreational players can be tricky sometimes with their value hands. So not expecting all trips, going for a bet. Still, my hand has some sort of equity against even the top of their range, so I think bluffing is completely fine. Guys, if you're enjoying the challenge so far, like and subscribe, and stay tuned because once we reach 250 euros bankroll, there will be some awesome surprise for you guys. Now back to the tables. Snap call, blind versus blind, I think usually means weakness, so I'm just gonna ISO raise to 6 big blinds, expecting a lot of folds. Even if it doesn't fold, we're playing in position with a hand that plays alright post flop, and he donks on jack 10 8 two-tone. I'm gonna go for a 50% raise. We have a pair plus an open-ender. I think I'm ahead most of his range. Straight comes down, and I'm gonna go with some exploitative stuff. I'm gonna go 6 big blinds, trying to make him bluff something or go crazy. Continues, and unfortunately the river is a 9, so now he can have a straight. Donks 1 big blind. I don't think he has a straight, but I don't think I want to shove here or raise. Yeah, I'm just gonna call and split. Yeah, it is jack. Unlucky river. Here I decided to open from under the gun jack 9 since this table I think they're very passive. Usually I would not open this kind of hands, but this table looked alright. But is queen 9-6. I'm gonna play a lot of checks here against the button. Quickly checks back. I'm just gonna go block. Block turn, block most river. Pretty sure my hand is worth a bet here. A lot of single pairs and draws are possible, but I don't think my hand is worth going for a bigger bet, and he finds the call. Managed to win this one. Yeah, ace 8 called me ace high. Yeah, players tend to be very sticky at these levels. Here I decided to check back in a ISO raise spot with king queen. Now we face 1 big blind. Just gonna go for the call. I think I'm still ahead most of this range. And once you go for 2 big blinds, I don't think my hand is worth to raise here. I'm just gonna go for the call. Hopefully it shows up with a random 10. Or a king jack, for example. At queen 10, nice. I don't think raising is the best option there. Even though I'm pretty confident I'm ahead, I don't think raising is a good option there. Another ISO raise spot, cut off limps. I ISO raise and this guy cold calls. So I'm just gonna go for a small bet here. He snap calls. I think it's pretty weak, even though the 3 is not great. Just gonna go for a pot size bet. He snap folds, which is nice. Against 3x open, I'm gonna go for a 3-bet against the regular. I'm gonna play 3-bet or folds. This guy probably opens correctly, so 3-betting works alright for me. Even though king jack is not supposed to be a pure 3-bet, I think I have a decent post-flop edge against the 2NL regular. We're gonna generate a bunch of VB from that. Limp spot multi-way, very big bet for my opponent. Still had against some lower underpairs, stuff like 7s, 8s, 9s, 6s. I think calling 1 is fine. Now he lowers the sizing once the 3 comes. I think I need to call. Usually they're very weak once they lower their sizing between flop and turn. So he'll call. River is the 7. Now I'm thinking about donk betting because I don't want him to bet a bigger 10. And I will go for 4 big blinds. Hopefully he will call his lower pairs and call for this sizing a better hand. It went like this, call with queen 10. Decide to open pocket aces. I think can play some check raises here with pocket aces. Also betting is fine. I think check raise works better. Quickly checks. Now I'm gonna pot the turn and pot the river, probably any river. River is a 5. He quickly called, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a set ever. Would at least consider raising, so not a lot of 2 pairs get there on the 5, so I can go pot, I can go over bet. I'm just gonna go pot. And he quickly folds. Gonna ISO raise pocket 7s here. He calls. Board is 5-5-5. Don't think he ever has a better hand than mine. I'll just go half pot, get some protection. Maybe call some ace eyes, king eyes. Raise would be fun if he raises. Of course I'm gonna jam if he raises. Like, there's no way I'm just gonna call. We open pocket kings, get 3-bet to 12 big blinds. Gonna go and 4-bet this hand. Let's go 26. Fold. Okay. Not a lot of action today. ISO raise the ace queen against the hijack limp or this ace 6-3 two-tone. Just gonna go for a small bet. Fast call here. Run out is the 7. I'm just gonna continue with the aggression. Not going huge. Calls again pretty fast. Don't think he has a lot of flush draws actually. And I don't think he's got a lot of 6x either. So I think I'll go for another bet and fold to a jam. Hopefully he will get call from an ace. But this time he finds the fold. Let's defend this 7-4 against the 2x open. After check, I think my hand is just a showdown value hand. Of course, I can check call on the turn since I have the flush draw too. So let's just go for the check call. 2.5 big blinds. We're gonna call. River is the 7. Doesn't change a lot. If we were ahead on the turn, we are ahead now, and we win. Look at what he had. He had 10-9 for a open-ender. Managed to win this one. Here I decided to ISO raise pocket 7s. Or this queen jack 8, just gonna play checks here with this hand. I'm gonna play check fold. Yeah, even against the small sides, I think this hand just snap fold. Okay, this guy looks like he's opening a lot, so I'm gonna try and 3-bet this king jack offsuit. Even though it's already bottom range, I think against a guy that opens a lot, it will work alright. Queen 7-4 two-tone. Let's just go for a small bet, 20%. Any fast calls. Turn is the queen. I would rather bluff now than on the check line, and so I'll try and go for this. And he folds. Nice. Last hand for today. We open the king 10 suited from the under the gun. For this king jack 7, can bet, can check. This guy, I think it's a pretty spewy, so I'm trying to check and give him the chance to do some random stuff. Bets 3 big blind around third pot. Let's take a look at what the small blind wants to do. Pretty long tank and then fold. I think against this guy specifically, I could check raise, but I think calling is still alright. So we call. Turn is the 4. Gonna play check calls on the turn too. Yeah, half pot. This is definitely weak. He had the option to go 10, 12, 15, 16 big blinds, 13 big blinds. Like basically any sizing bigger than that. So I think it's weak, but do I want to raise against this side? I think he can have a bluff, so I will just try and call again and evaluate on the river. He checks back. Let's take a look at his hand. And yeah, jack 10 with a flush draw. We managed to win this one. So let's take a look at the results for this session. We win 3 euros, so a stack and a half. So right now we have 80 euros and 40 cents in the bankroll. So we're 5 euros away to go up to 5NL. So that was it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to watch other challenge episodes, I will link it here, and I'll see you in the next one.